I'm still going through it. I feel like I haven't wanted to speak about this for a really long time, and I found all of last year really hard because I felt like I'm big fat, not actually big fat, you know what I mean, a big fat fraud basically on the internet, because after 2023 I had this big life glow up and I was like, ooh yeah, relationship with food's healed, boundaries, ooh yeah, body confidence, and then I was like, nope, turns out I'm not quite there. Good morning, my loves. Happy Sunday. I'm just getting myself ready to go to yoga at my gym, which I've become a regular yoga girl. I don't know when this happened, but I was just trying on this little top that I got from Free People, and I'm obsessed. Look at the back too. I mean, I'm not going to wear these shorts. I basically did a big Free People order for Ibiza half race day outfit options, which I'm running in like less than 2 weeks now. And so these shorts are a contender. This bra obviously isn't, this top isn't for running, but for yoga she's cute. I'm just not sure what shorts I would wear to match today, but I thought I'd just come and start chatting to you because I also realised I've got a whole 7 minutes until I need to leave and I'm not at all ready. So yeah, hello, hi if you're new here. I'm currently training for a Tromso marathon in like, what is that now, like 13 weeks away? And then Ibiza half in 2 weeks, and I'm also doing the Hackney half, but I'm also just like very new to CrossFit and like absolutely living for it. And I cycle as well. Basically, when I started this marathon training block 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to go in for fat loss for the first 8 weeks. I want to feel amazing. I want to start tracking again, blah, 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 blah. And I just realised I absolutely despise that. And it's made me feel really like shit. I kind of have a very interesting, not so fun history with disordered eating. And I thought that having some boundaries and having some discipline with tracking was going to help me out. But to be honest, it's just made me think about food every waking second of the day. And it's just like, kind of feels a little bit like I've taken a million steps backwards. So that's what I have been doing for the last few weeks and not feeling, I've been performing really, really well. Like nothing's been going bad, and I think I'm proud of myself for catching this before it got bad. But last week I invested in a coach because I was doing all of this myself because my training is so rogue. But I've invested in a coach, and my current aim is just to get my food mindset back under control. Like, whoa, my towel just fell. I just want to like not be thinking about food 24/7. I want to get my binge eating tendencies back under control, and I just want to feel fucking fantastic in every way. Like absolutely, I deserve to feel hot as fuck in my body, but like I do not deserve to think about food every waking second of the day. And like I've been weekly vlogging this whole marathon training thing so far, and watching myself back, I've just realised how much like I think and overthink and talk about food, and I'm honestly bored of myself. I'm also bored of myself looking for low calorie options. Like it's not a life. So anyway, I went out for a couple of wines last night. Not feeling the most fresh, but also not feeling bad. I just basically need to get myself ready. Gonna go to my yoga and then my gymnastics class, which so much fun. I did my first ever Olympic weightlifting class yesterday, which was fun. That's in last week's vlog, go watch it. And yeah, doing my second gymnastics class today. Is basically all to try and help me, one, do like a little bit more low impact exercise, but also just get me better at this CrossFit thing. But yeah, and then I'm gonna come back Sunday reset. I need to plan my week. I want to talk to you about my relationship with food, my relationship with alcohol, my current training vibes, and then I'm going for a roast with my friend Alex. So gorgeous Sunday, let's go. Alright guys, I found these, oh goodness, I almost fell over. I found these brown Lululemon leggings I think I can get away with this pink top, which means I can wear it today, which is exciting. Just putting on my Rads, which are my like CrossFit shoes, which I've been really enjoying. They are, you do notice a difference I think, because last week I went for a run before a CrossFit class, and so I want my running trainers to CrossFit. Obviously you can do it when you start lifting heavier, and like, I don't know, just the style of training, these shoes are built for it, and it just is so good because they're great for, they're like flat and supportive for lifting heavy, but also like so fine to run in and do your conditioning shit in. Well, not like running, but I'm trying shit. I need to grab myself some food as well because I was gonna eat this morning. I was gonna have my oats, but I got lost in this hole of editing this post for today. Like I like to do these things on my Instagram where I like doodle. I like doodle, and it takes me so much longer than I think it's going to every time. Like I did all of my little drawing things on my app called Procreate, so I just lost track of time, which is why I'm rushing. Oh, that's full up. I've got any like bars that I can just grab. Alright, I've got these apple and cinnamon stuffed bars. I tried the normal ones of these bars, not the apple and cinnamon ones, and they are delicious. Just be walking through Wandsworth Park. There's a really sweet little family playing tennis. I just walked past about 6 couples with their little puppies and coffees and holding hands, and I'm not at all bitter. I've been doing that for the last 2 weeks, and that is just my new absolute favourite way to spend a Sunday. It's so good. Also, that's my 3rd time doing yoga, 4th time doing yoga, and I'm already feeling such a difference. Like my hamstrings and my hip flexors are so tight from running that I feel like that is just so good for me. And also just like engaging your core. I feel like it's going to level up my CrossFit and my running, which is exactly the aim, and it makes me feel really nice and calm. I feel like it's also really good for my like, what do you call it? Your nervous system to regulate, so that's fun. Right then, you guys, I am fresh out of the shower. I rinsed my hair. I keep doing this thing where I feel like I can't properly shampoo and conditioner it every time I get sweaty or want it to look fresh. I just rinsed it and blow dried it, and it's feeling like it looks quite nice. But I've got about 20 minutes before I have to leave, so I thought I would sit down and we could just have some chats, and I can give you some context, some background into why I'm even making this video, and like the whole, just like my relationship with food, my relationship with alcohol, everything that I've been wanting to kind of address, because I do feel like some backstory is needed. Also, how necessary is the Sunday reset later? Allow me, we're just going to sit with it, all right? So, unsure where to really begin. I haven't really got any structure with this, so probably going to ramble. So basically, for as long as I can remember now, like adult brain, I have struggled with food. My first kind of memory of thinking about it and it starting was in primary school, because I had my growth spurt way before all of the other boys, and I've always been really tall. I'm 5'9" now, but I remember having my growth spurt in like year 5, year 6 and being so much taller than all of the other boys and having this massive appetite, and people commenting on it a lot. And I know that they meant no harm, they meant no malice, like it was just something that was said, but like even at home it'd be like, oh, Rihanna's eating again, or like Rihanna will finish it off, or like, are you always thinking about food, what's the next meal? Like, and I remember being so hungry and it being like a kind of a bad thing. I don't know if it was just because I was a girl, or if it was just like anything, but I remember that being my first thing, my first real awareness of how much I was consuming. And I always thought like, fuck me, I've got such a big appetite, like, oh my god, I'm bigger than everyone else. And that really like started something within me, and I hated that I was always bigger than all of the boys, and all of my friends were like, the reason I want to address this food, alcohol and dating all in one kind of conversation is because I think they're all kind of linked, for me anyway. But yeah, and I remember like all of the guys were going for like the small girls that were smaller than them, which is so fair and so valid, because it's like definitely a social norm. And it just something, it like was something that I took note of, even subconsciously. And in terms of growing up, I had the most gorgeous upbringing ever. Like, I'm so grateful for everything I had growing up, but I did grow up with a mum who grew up in a different generation to me, where there was a lot of the whole like ab blast, like Weight Watchers. She was part of that era, and that's like literally no criticism. And to be completely honest, I've always found it really hard to talk to my parents about this, because I never want, about my like relationship with food and stuff, because I never want to make them feel like they're part of it or like guilty for it, because I don't think they are. I think it's just something that has affected me throughout my life. Also, you'll probably notice this about me, I like to preface things really excessively, which means it takes me a really long time to tell you stories, but I just don't want to like say the wrong thing. It's because this is so public now. But yeah, so I grew up with things like thinking that a packet of crisps was fattening, or just like not really listening to your hunger and fullness cues, because the main goal was always just to like be small. I remember like the goal was always to lose weight, and like people commenting on their stomachs, like not being happy with their appearance. I didn't grow up with a household that were very like confident in the way they looked, I guess I could say that. I don't know. It just kind of affected me, and I think for a long time
I thought that the goal was just constantly to lose weight and to constantly watch what you eat, and that I was weird for always being hungry, and I was weird for being bigger, and I think it just like really did instill something in me. And then I like made my way through secondary school, got to like, I remember year 9, year 10, year 11 kind of age, and I started with my fitness pal and I started tracking because I wanted to try and eat as little as possible. I was watching everyone online. I was just consuming so much media where people were eating 1,400, 1,200 calories. And I, again, at this point was probably not far off of my height now, right? Like you stop growing pretty early on. And I just remember being so hungry. I remember food being on my mind so much because I was so hungry all the time, and it wasn't normal for me to be eating the amount that I wanted to be eating. And I was like making these salads at home where it was literally just like sliced chicken and lettuce that I would take into school, and I'd have it in the lunch hall rather than buying school lunches. And like, I don't know, I just remember being like, well, you can't snack at lunch, I can't snack at break because then you'll be over your calories. Like it's all a bit of a grey area now. Like it was like over 10 years ago now, which is a bit mad. But yeah, I remember that being a prominent thing. And then that was when I also started, I guess, trigger warning I should probably put for all of this, I started then binging and making myself sick when I was in school, which is not vibes and not cool, and it makes me sad to even think about it. But I struggled with that quite a lot, and I think that all came from the fact that I was then starving myself or like not eating enough, and then it led to binges, which was just horrible, and a cycle that I managed to keep secret for a really, really, really long time. And then exercise came into the mix, where I think in year 11 you got the option to go to the gym rather than do PE. I used to avoid PE like the plague, by the way. Like, I was not a sporty gal. I would do it, but I just hated it. Exercise to me was like punishment, which is also not vibes. Anyway, so I would start going to the gym rather than PE, and I would literally go, and I remember looking at my fitness pal before going into the gym and being like, right, cool, what cardio machine do I go on to burn this off? Where did I learn this from? It's actually so mad, but it's genuinely how I've been wired for as long as I can remember. It's really weird. Recently I've been saying it a lot out loud and like writing it down and like processing a lot of it. It's just like, it is crazy, and it makes me so sad that so many people resonate to it. And I'd go and I'd cross train her, and I'd do it until I'd burnt off however many calories I'd eaten that day. And then I'd go home, and what I used to do is I'd stop off at Poundland on the way home, and I'd buy the big fuck off bar of dairy milk, and I'd eat it all before I got home, because in my brain that didn't count. And then I'd either make myself sick or I'd feel guilty for the rest of the evening, and I'd be up at like 9 p.m. when I'd said I'd gone to bed doing like ab workouts and doing weird workouts. Not it. Anyway, that kind of like went undetected, I can't lie. Kept that a secret quite well. And then I got a boyfriend in year 13 of school, and I think that just kind of masked a lot of issues, to be honest with you. I didn't realise how reliant I was on him, and just having someone that, like, I guess it was a validation thing. Like, don't get me wrong, that was a lovely relationship. I had a gorgeous first experience of like relationshipness, and that lasted like 2 and a bit years, and that just masked a lot of it. I don't know why. I don't know, like, suddenly I guess it was just validating something else in me. I'm not sure. I went travelling, I was like backpacking, I was, guess, distracted. Don't remember feeling any kind of way, to be honest, about it. I remember like when I went backpacking for the first time in like straight after sixth form, I took a gap year between school and uni. I remember thinking like, oh my god, people normally go backpacking and they come back skinny. I was like, what if I don't save up? What if I like save some more money, don't eat, and I can come back skinny? Just fucked, man, isn't it? That's so sad. Like, I was going on this amazing trip of a lifetime, and that's what I was still thinking about. Like, I really hate it. I really hate that my brain is wired like that, and I know this is actually not fun for me to be saying. Like, it's not helping anyone, me being angry at myself about it. I just still am finding it so frustrating because it's still affecting me now. Anyway, went travelling, had a gorgeous time, came back, went to uni. Uni was a weird one for me because it's my first time like cooking for myself and being completely in control of what I was consuming. Like, I was no longer at home. I was no longer like eating lunch at school. I was no longer like traveling with people, working with people where like they were around all the time. And I like, again, when I was in that relationship, I don't remember it really like bothering me much until when that relationship ended. I also had like a really traumatic couple of months. At the end of my first year, I had my first breakup, and I lost my uncle and my granddad. And I really struggled with uni anyway, which is like kind of where the relationship with alcohol kind of started, because I didn't grow up, my family don't drink. I didn't grow up with like a boozy family. I did the classic, like when you're 16, 17, 18, going to house parties. Like, I did it, but I never really like understood boundaries with it. And when I was in first year, I kind of hated the freshers vibe. I hated forced fun. I didn't get that lucky with my halls, and so that wasn't really a thing. But then when those 3 months happened, when those three things happened, it just sent me in such a major way. Like I remember I really stopped eating. I really struggled to like get any food in. I started drinking quite a lot, and then because I wasn't eating, like drinking was getting taken too far, and I kind of associated the two together, and I just got really sad. That summer was like potentially the lowest of my whole life. That's when I first started therapy. I was put on antidepressants. I lost a lot of weight very, very quickly, and I just remember being like, that summer I honestly have blacked out a lot of it. Like I don't remember a lot of it. I haven't really spoken about that, to be honest. That was a really horrible time in my life. I like wasn't really okay. And then went back to uni, which was, I almost dropped out. I just didn't see the point. I didn't see how I could get through it. But I managed to get convinced to go back, and I'm glad I did. And I went back, and I didn't really get on with my second year house either, which was not vibes. And I just remember feeling like I really needed to prove something, like because and also when I lost loads of weight over the summer, do you know how much praise I got? And there's that trend that goes around on TikTok. It's like funny when you get like the most praise when you were like hating yourself. When like you've been the lowest, I don't know what the quote is, but it's something about like when I got so much praise, I got like, oh my god, you look amazing. For the first time in my life, I was getting so much validation, so much attention, so much like male attention as well, because I'd lost all of this weight. But I'd lost all of this weight because I was so anxious that I couldn't sleep, and so anxious that I couldn't eat, and I was literally so depressed because I was dealing with grief and like a breakup, and it was just so horrible. And I just kind of like, I don't know, it was such a weird mind thing for me to get through. And my thing at uni, when I started to struggle again because I wasn't getting on with my house, I would just like always eat in my room. I would eat in private, and the problem with eating in private was that was linked to like the binge eating that I had before. So like the eating disorder I think I had like thrived on, or have, or will whatever struggled with, thrived on secrecy. Like I loved to do it when nobody knew, and like it was just a me thing, which is just frustrating. And I would like do the same thing, and I would end up binging, and I then was like binge eating and binge drinking, and occasionally being sick throughout second year, to be honest. I've never really done this chat. I feel a bit weird. I feel very exposed. Please be nice. Yeah, the whole of second year was just like a big binge, and I started trying to track again, and it was all just like, again, so much of my brain power was on food and what I looked like so much of my life so far has been dictated by it, and I'm so over it. Ended up putting a lot of weight on, and my weight was just yo-yoing, but the problem with that one was because I then was living with people and I felt a little bit more seen, I guess. I wasn't always being sick, and that just consequently led to me putting on a lot of weight, and also like my skin broke out, my mental health was in the bin, I was going to the doctors, like my hormones were all over the place. It was not fun. At this point I was also on the pill, so I was on the pill from when I was 15 to 25 because of my acne. That was like the solution that I got given. So that's another topic for another time, but I was going to the doctors being like, is there something wrong with the pill? Like I'm putting on so much weight, just trying to find external solutions rather than looking like internally at the fact that like. And I was also like, I think in complete denial that I was binging. Like I don't think I was addressing it at all. Weird one. Third year. Had that summer of realisation. I've just like went from a summer being really slim and having lost a lot of weight and being not very well, to a summer being really quite overweight and really unhealthy and really struggling. Both of them not happy. And I was like, oh my God, right, something's got to change. We've got to get a grip. And I think I was still having therapy at this point. I don't remember. But third year, I remember like really starting to like look up. My friend took me to like the gym, and I remember finding exercise for the first time and being a bit like, oh my God, this could be quite fun. And just, I preferred my house in third year. Like I was around some girls, it was a bit different, and I found myself some societies, and I was really enjoying my actual course at this point. So I think again, just like found other things. I was filling my life with other things, so there wasn't as much space for the all-consuming food thoughts. And then lockdown happened, and I was doing really well, to be fair, at that point. I was feeling finally like a little bit like myself again for the first time in years, and then lockdown happened, and I got chucked back home into my childhood bedroom. And obviously the pandemic was going on, which was just super high stress, and I was part of the crowd that did Chloe Ting all day every day, and then like did the occasional 5K. I used to like run a kilometre and then pause my Strava and pretend that I could run, because at the time I couldn't run at all. And I would like bake things, and I would be quite controlling with them, and everything had to be high protein. And I was just like, I think in a bit of was TikTok around then? Some kind of a hole. Like I remember consuming obviously a lot of social media at this time, and like I was feeling probably okay around food at this point, but with hindsight it was very excessive. Like I used to have this Instagram called Hot Potato that was completely private. Like 4 people followed it. It was like my best friend from uni, my sister and my cousin and my brother. Like it was so low key, but I'd post time lapses of my Chloe Ting workouts every single day, and I'd move on to Natasha Ocean, which I actually think was quite a turning point. And she followed me the other day, and I fangirled so hard. But I used to love her videos because they were science backed, and I was always such an academic science backed kid, and so finding content to consume that wasn't like targeted at being skinny, but actually like understanding the science of our bodies and like how to train for really cool things. Like she was always doing Ironman and things like that. That was probably my first thing where I was like, oh my God, that's really cool. That's really fun. Anyway, lockdown happened. Then we came out of lockdown, and it was like very much like binge drinking, binge eating, like lockdown. Like, I found that quite like hard to manage. I'm such a creature of like routine. I'm not, but like I do find it quite hard when it's interchanging. And I think I obviously still was like processing all of this. Again, weight was just yo-yoing like you wouldn't believe. And I stayed in a job for like a year and a half. And at this point, like my love for the gym was growing out of lockdown, went back to the gym, I found my love for exercise, I guess, then when I started like, doing weight training and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. Like my body is so capable of doing so much more than just like excessive cardio. Like I can eat more protein because I want to like lift more, I want to look more lean, like blah, 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 blah. There was always still in the back of my brain, like there was a lot of aesthetics involved, and there was definitely a lot of stuff to unlearn. But at this point, we're probably like 8 years into this troubled thinking. So yeah, did my little gym girl era, and then I quit my job in my 9 to 5 to go traveling, and I went to South America with my best friend for like 3 months, I think it was, don't remember. And it was very indulgent. Wasn't that boozy actually. I've never found it hard to stop drinking. I've never found it hard. But I do love a cold glass of wine. Like I do love a little bit of a drink. Anyway, we'll get on to that. I get sidetracked. This is quite a fun little whirlwind story, isn't it? And I'm also missing bits, so don't take this as like the be all and end all. I really should have written this down, but just so you have some context. That's my phone. Oh, that's fine. So yeah, went traveling, came back, weight had yo-yoed once again, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so over this. I need to do something about this once and for all. And I came back, and this is when I was like, right, I want to be self-employed, blah, 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 blah. So I got my PT qualification. I started like coaching people. And I remember I got a coach in like the September of that year, 2022, I want to say. And I was like, right, I want to be strong, but I want to be skinny. And I remember her saying to me like, you maybe need to pick one. We can either go for a fat loss goal, or you need to train really hard. And I remember being like, but I want to do all of it. Classic me. Such an all or nothing girl, if you haven't already noticed. And so we ended up going for fat loss for like 3 months, and we tracked. And I remember it was successful. And I started to lose some weight. But as soon as I stopped with her in the December, I like didn't know how to handle it all again. And that is the December I signed up to the London Marathon. And I was like, something's got to give. I need to change my life. I need to like, I was so tired of this yo-yo. I remember like literally being so done. I was like, right, you've like, I'd started being self-employed, and I was like, you are capable of doing this. Like, you just need to get your something big has got to change. You've got to change your life. Like, oh my God, this was like a big turning point to me. I also came off the pill in that September, which I don't think is a coincidence, but that's again, a story for another time. And so I signed up to the marathon, and I started running, and I started looking at food, and I stopped tracking, which is funny because I only noticed that the last couple of days. Because in my brain, that whole era that I had like a big life change, I must have been tracking, but I actually wasn't. I stopped tracking, started training for the London Marathon, started prioritizing my business, my life, what I wanted to do, like focusing on all of the things that I was actually like doing and had and loved about myself and my life. And that's when change happened. And that's when my relationship with food was the best it had ever been, because I was fueling for performance and I wasn't thinking about it all the time. And I had all this brain space to think about all of these other things that I wanted to do with my life. And it all fucking took off. And I thought, oh my God, amazing. Loved it. Ran the marathon. Like genuinely, my relationship with food has never been better. I've never been less consumed by it. I've never been more body confident. I've also never been closer to like, I was so body confident at that point. I was so confident in my choices, in everything. Like it was such a high point. And then I got injured and it threw me off, because I went from marathon training and having this massive like upward trajectory of literally everything in my life to oh my God, I can't move. And it sent me back into some old habits where I was like, fuck, well, I need to eat less now. Maybe I need to control it. Maybe I need to track it. Maybe I need to sign up for something bigger. Maybe I need to, like, again, searching for some kind of validation at all times. And it's so annoying. But we're addressing like the deeper issues there. Because if I've learned anything about my relationship with food, it's never actually, well, a very little part of it is actually about the food. It's more often than not, like, about something deeper, something bigger, you know, that just takes a while to maybe, like, be honest with yourself about, or just, like, dig deeper on. And a lot of it was, like, also linked to dating, because I think I need to do a whole other thing on dating, to be fair, because I'm already 20 minutes into this chat. But, like, a lot of it comes from validation and my fear of always being, and my thing of always being bigger than boys, and being, like, all of that comes back to it, which is crazy. But again, I think we need to address that another time. I just want to give you some context into why my goals and my approach is changing now. So yeah, control thing. And then ran the Lisbon Marathon, was still injured. And then I went traveling to Australia and Bali, and I really struggled with that time as well, because I was just, like, not okay in my brain. I still couldn't run. I was out of my routine. I was thinking about food all the time again. And I did just find that really, really hard. And that leads us to last year, so 2024, when I came back and I moved out, and I struggled all of last year. I struggled so much. My mental health was, like, holding on by a thread for the entire time. And I kept trying to be who I am to my core, which is, like, super optimistic and positive. And I love that about myself. And I was just finding it really hard. I never really felt like home in my new flat. I think I just felt very unsettled, and I was looking for something to control, which is what mine has always been. Like, when I feel like I'm, like, low-key a control freak, and when I'm control freak, I do hate that, whatever, well, for the purpose of this story and time constraints. I was looking for something to control, and I controlled food a lot. And then what always happened is I would then be sat on my own on the sofa, and I would binge eat chocolate. That's just, like, something that I've always done. It makes me feel so comforted. It makes me feel so validated. Again, deeper issues there. Struggled, but I was also marathon training again, which I didn't do properly. Like, all of last year I was, like, not doing things properly because I was struggling so much. Like, I wasn't committing to my training. I wasn't fueling for performance. My sleep last year was the worst. Like, I reckon I've taken a few years off my life from how badly I slept for the whole of 2024. Yeah. Last year was hard. I yo-yoed quite hard. Don't really know what else to say about that. No issue. I didn't really have any big revelations until this year, when I went away for January. And I boozed a lot, and I ate out a lot, and I was all consumed by food once again. I was in a bikini the whole time, and I've never felt more uncomfortable in the way that I looked. And it was really horrible. Gorgeous trip. Loved the trip. Struggled a lot mentally. Ended up even having to have, like, a really big conversation with my friend who I'm traveling with, which it plays on my mind a lot, because it's so hard when you're struggling with food and you need to ask somebody else to act, or, like, support you with it and be aware of it, and, like, but you don't want to, like, put it on them or, like, make them change what they're doing, because it's got nothing to do with them. It's my fucking problem, and I find it really hard. But anyway, I had to have a chat, because I was like, oh my God, I'm struggling so much. And also, we were both unwell, and also I was unwell for the whole of January, which, being unwell and being out of control was always a massive trigger for me. Like, I had the flu, I had a chest infection, I had a stomach bug, and then I had dengue fever, and it was all just quite chaotic, and I was just feeling quite, like, and I think my nervous system from 2024 up until, like, literally February this year has just been stressed, which is not good, which is not fun. And that's why when I came back from traveling and I had dengue fever, and, like, it was a massive realization to me that it all means absolutely nothing if you don't have your health, and if you're not feeling good, and, like, not looking after your body. And it was a real hit home of, like, why am I not looking after my body? Why am I always trying to starve it? Why am I always trying to be skinny? But also I'm allowed to feel body confident. It was very conflicting. And so I came back and I was like, I just wanted change. I wanted to control something. I wanted to feel good, ultimately. And so my first thing was like, oh my God, Chuck. And I feel a bit silly that I did that so publicly, to be honest with you. Trying not to feel embarrassed about it, because I'm only human. What's a girl to do? And it caught me so I came back and I was like, right, I really wanted to sign up to another marathon, because I wanted to do it properly, and I'm feeling really good in my body, and I'm feeling really capable, and I want to use this year to, like, prove to myself that I'm capable of such amazing things, and my body can do such amazing things for me, and looking after my health is literally tip-top priority. So I signed up to a marathon that's not for work, and it's just for me and my goals, and I'm going to go and do it on my own. And, like, I'm not doing it for validation, I'm doing it for me, because I want to prove to myself that I can do it. And I think being disciplined with training is amazing for your self-confidence, and amazing for what it can do for your brain in so many different ways. And yeah, and so I also wanted to do fat loss, and then I got really caught up in that, and I was like, oh my God, I need to lose weight to run faster, I need to lose weight to get the goal that I want to do at my marathon. And then I was coaching one of my clients, and she was like, she was running a marathon And she asked me to go fat loss, and I was like, oh, we should probably pick one of them. And then I was a bit like, ooh, like, practice what you preach, Rihanna, like, come on. And then the last 3 weeks, the last 2 weeks before this week, I had been tracking, and I can't tell you, watching my own vlogs back, I've been bored of the amount I've been talking about. Oh, it's on my goals, like, oh, it's like this many calories. Like, I edited the calories out of so many times I said it in my vlogs, because I was like, ugh, I have not worked so hard to prove to myself that I'm capable of so many amazing things, to sit here on a video and talk about how many calories are in a pizza. Like, I'm bored. I'm bored of constantly thinking about food and letting it rule my life, and letting it rule how I feel about my body and how I feel about what it's capable of doing. I'm so over it. And so I was like, right, I just had a couple of moments where I binged, and I was like, actually, Rihanna, no, not this time. Like, actually, I'm not going to let it fucking win. So over it. Like, I have worked so hard to be where I am in my life, and so hard to be at the confidence. Like, we'll go into the dating stuff. Like, I'm so confident in myself and in my life and in my business, and I'm obsessed with the life I've created, and I'm not about to let another year of my life be ruled by food. And so when I caught myself thinking about food all day, every day, and then feeling weird about it all, I was like, nah. So I have got myself a coach, and I'm not tracking anymore, and I'm fueling for performance, and I'm just eating to feel good. Like, I just want to get over it in such a major way. And I've done it before. I've got closer before. I'm going to get closer again. And I just want to enjoy my life and do these amazing things, and stop spending so much of my days thinking about what my next meal is. And like, I will always be a foodie. I'm not losing that. But that's where I'm at. Basically, I just want to feel my best and do my best and make the most of this life. And I just don't think me thinking about food 24/7 is me making the most of either of those things. So current goals moving forward are, I've got Ibiza half in 2 weeks. Really excited about it. I have got Hackney half in like a month and a bit. Really excited about it. And I've got my Tromso marathon in like 2 months. 3 months. 3 months. Whoa. I might have done that maths wrong. I've got those 3 races coming up. I'm really excited about them. My performance has been killing it. I'm loving my CrossFit. I'm loving feeling wow. I'm also loving clearing out clothes that don't fit me anymore. And I'm not going to keep them because I think that I'm going to get skinnier again to fit in them. I'm just going to buy some new stuff with the money that I work really hard for, so I can buy clothes that make me feel really good, basically, is where I'm at. And I'm going to, we'll come back to dating and drinking, but I'm going to allow myself to do things in moderation and just try and trust myself a little bit more. Like, I feel like all of last year I just lost the trust of myself, lost my trust that I could do things, lost my trust that I could make the right, correct food decisions to fuel my body, and I lost the correct decisions with alcohol, because a whole nother topic. But yes, I've got a coach now. I'm not tracking, I'm fueling for performance. I'm still training the same because I love my training. It makes me feel so good. And that is the backstory and where I'm at. Hope you enjoyed. Hope that made sense. Please do ask me questions. I'm still going through it. I feel like I haven't wanted to speak about this for a really long time, and I found all of last year really hard because I felt like I'm not actually big fat, you know what I mean? A big fat fraud, basically, on the internet, because after 2023, I had this big life glow up, and I was like, ooh, yeah, relationship with food's healed, boundaries, ooh, yeah, body confidence. And then I was like, nope, turns out I'm not quite there. And I felt really silly, and I felt like a fraud, and it wasn't fun to... It's really hard to show up as yourself on social media when you know you've got like a big secret. Not that it's a big secret, but it is a massive part of my life, you know? So that's all. I've been talking for 27 minutes. Apologies. Hope you enjoyed your cup of tea and biscuits. Thoughts, feelings, concerns? Thanks for listening if you're still here. Love you loads. Honestly, every time I come to Clapham, it makes me feel so weird. I just do not belong here. I really thought I did. I thought I was going to be I mean, I'm a South West London girly, but I thought I was going to be like a Clapham girly when I lived here last year. Not vibes. I was talking about my nervous system not feeling regulated. I think that's probably why I feel weird, because the whole time I was here I just feel like I was stressed. Also, the weather's weird today. It's very overcast. I feel like I've got something in my eye. Alrighty then guys, I am walking myself back home after some very much needed and essential Sunday no screen time. Just went with Alex and we had a chicken roast, then we ordered cauliflower cheese as a side, and they brought macaroni cheese instead, and we were like, excuse me, and then we ended up having both. So that's some gorgeous karma. Feeling very full up, so that's why I'm just walking back. Right, popcorn salad supplies have been purchased, and now my rule is that I can't sit down, take my shoes off, do anything until I've sorted my flat out for a Sunday. So let's do this thing. First things first, you can't even see that. I'm going to sort out this pile of clothes on my floor. Wait. Oh, how the fuck do we get that out? There we go. Big fat fake plant! Right, hang you up. Right, I'm gonna quickly plan my week while I'm in this room before I go and do my bedroom, and then have a shower in the bathroom and do all of that stuff. So, this is my first week of me having my coach. So she's also like helping me plan my sessions, plan my week. Week commencing 24th of March. Where has time actually gone? So Monday plan is CrossFit in the AM and then 7 kilometers easy. One thing my Whoop did tell me this week is that I didn't balance my training as well as last week. Like I spent less time in zones 1 and 2, which doesn't surprise me because on my easy run I was just having so much fun that I didn't really take it that easy. So tomorrow's easy run, I've got to do that because it was quite satisfying when it told me that I was balancing my training well. Tuesday I've got a speed run. Wednesday, and I also might, sorry coach, I might go to CrossFit on Tuesday as well because my friends go to CrossFit and coffee on a Tuesday, so sorry. I'll just take it easy, I promise. Wednesday is zone 2, so probably a cycle. Thursday, I have got an easy, CrossFit in the morning. Yay! An easy run. Friday, I've got strength for runners, so a leg day. Saturday, I'm doing my long run, which is deload week next week for me next week, so it's just 12k, which is easy squeeze. Sunday, I'm gonna do yoga and gymnastics again. So I just typed that out on my, on my notes page, and now I'm going to get out Google Calendar. Gorgeous, okay. Fun. And then what days am I in for food? Because I haven't done my food shop today, because by the time I finished my roast, it was already gone 5, and then all the big supermarkets are shut, so I just went home via the small supermarket to buy my popcorn salad supplies, and then I'm going to do my big food shop, probably tomorrow. Perfect. Alright, cool. So my list's there ready and raring to go. Got quite a busy week, to be fair. I've been quite a social queen. Oh, hey bike. Also, have you seen this yet? In the weekly vlog, it would have gone live before this. Mr. Man came and put up my bike storage. My most expensive piece of art. Alright, now I've just got to do my bin run. That wasn't that bad, and I've been rolling for 25 minutes, so kind of as expected, I'd say. Alright then, let me go do my bins. Back! Time for me to take off my makeup, which I'm feeling a little bit sad about, I can't lie, because I feel like this makeup's looking really good. Just looking at it in my little mirror in my lift, and I was like, yeah. Oh, sorry, my gimbal just went really weird. Looked like I absolutely flashed you. Okay, so let's do this then. Might as well show you what I've been using, huh? Also quickly, because I always get questions on this. These earrings, right? £6 from ASOS. And for some reason, haven't really discoloured. Not entirely sure why. My necklace that I'm wearing right now is from Mango. I really want one of the tea and tequila ones. I just can't decide if I want to drop the monies on it. I seem to like change my mind on jewellery quite quickly, but I do want to start investing in some stuff that's really nice. I had a few that I wore every single day from Monica Vinader, and then for some reason, I don't know if I like went into some chemical somewhere, but they all broke. Like at one point I went to like, you know, you do that thing where you like just make sure that it's not twisted, and snapped off, which is so sad. And I really loved them, and they were lovely quality, and they weren't discolouring, so I think I must have done something to them. I'm not going to shit on Monica Vinader because I think they were great. This ring and this ring is from D. Louise. I have some from By Glaze, which I adore, and then this one and this one are both from random shops in Bali, so apologies, that's probably really useless. And then what else do I have on? Oh my god, this one I'm struggling to get off today, don't know why. Oh, the bracelets that I've got on is like a welded one from Astrid and Mew. And then this one with the smiley on, I absolutely love it. It's just from a brand called Pongo. I'm going to use my Estee Lauder, which I'm very much almost out of. Don't know what this is called. Advanced Night Cleansing Balm. Just use a bit of that on my finger. And literally say goodbye to the gorgeous makeup. I just like rub it all over my face. Other things I'm also running out of. I feel like I'm gonna have to do like a big, oh, that feels like a spot. A big like toiletries, bathroom makeup upgrade. My brow gel from By Ellie, also running out, so sad. I've never found a brow gel that works quite like that. I also need to buy some more of those like little spoolie brushes that I put it on with, so maybe this evening I'll do a quick order of some bits. That is a spot. Rub that off, and then I basically just use it with one of these little face cloths I bought. I think I bought a pack of like 100 or something crazy of these just like face cloths.
and I use them, like I use them once and then put them in my washing basket, and then I just rinse them. So they're not like single use, but it seems to have helped my skin. My skin is still like, I'm still breaking out quite a lot, but I don't know if that's also because I've been a bit stressed. But they really helped with that like under the skin texture thing. I think that was just from like not really cleaning my face things properly. So I'm just going to use that now to get my makeup off, and I'm going to get in the shower, which in the shower I just use my bubble face cleanser and my Sunday body wash, my Estrid razor, and that's it, to be honest with you.
Right, let's make a popcorn salad, shall we? Yum! I'm so excited about this. I'm going to be vlogging again for another week from tomorrow. Can't bloody get rid of me, can you? For real though, I love you loads if you watch this video. I feel like it's quite heavy. I feel like we've reached new levels of friendship. What a life. So I'll catch you for my deload week training chats and my newly not tracking, just vibing chats. Have a gorgeous morning, day, evening, weekend. Whenever you're watching this and whatever you're doing, as long as it's not hurting anybody and you're looking after yourself, I'm rooting for you so hard. I'll speak to you soon. Okay. Love you, bye!